Hi and welcome to the Yoga Doc. I'm Leah, founder of the Yoga Doc, and today's video is going to be working through pelvic girdle pain. Now this is something that plagues a lot of women in pregnancy and can be really debilitating as a condition. So just a brief background about why this might occur. The pelvis is and essentially that's made up of three bones: the sacrum, which is the lowest part of your spine, then you have two wings on either side, the ilium, and they're joined by joints that are connected by cartilage. Now those joints become a lot softer in pregnancy because they're affected by the hormones of pregnancy, progesterone and relaxin, and that can mean that there's some joint instability in that big ring, which causes you to have the pain that you may experience either at the front in the pubic symphysis or at the back on the two joints on either side of the sacrum. So today's short practice is going to work through some exercises that we're going to help you to alleviate hopefully some of your symptoms. That means that you can continue to move without the fear of exacerbating your symptoms. So just a tip for movements to avoid if you are suffering from pelvic girdle pain. So anything asymmetric like deep lunges where you're going to be putting pressure through that joint, or anything that gives you a sharp shooting pain. As with all of these videos, if anything hurts at all, then please stop. So the only props you're going to need for today's class is a block. Now, as always, you don't need specific yoga props. You can use a book or a box or even a large cushion. So if you were going to use a cushion like this, I would fold it in half. So we're going to start today's class supine, so lying down. After 20 weeks in pregnancy, we always talk about not lying on your back for long periods of time. But if you're exercising in a yoga class and it feels okay to you, you don't experience any symptoms of dizziness, then it's absolutely fine to do for short periods. But as always, any symptoms of dizziness or you're not feeling particularly well doing it, then please stop. So just supporting yourself as you come down to a lying position. Maybe you want a blanket or a cushion underneath your head for a bit of extra support. Allow the palms to face up. And then just walk the heels in, so you don't want them all the way to the bum. You want about a 90-degree angle at the knees. And feet are hip width apart and toes point towards the end of the mat. Close down the eyes here and start to settle into your practice. Feel a weightiness, a heaviness at the sacrum, the lower back. Feel that just melting into the floor. And start to breathe a little bit more deeply here. So as you inhale, feel your belly balloon. And exhaling, softening down towards your spine. And taking another deep breath here. Feeling a softening in the shoulders, heavy down into the mat as you breathe in. And exhale, releasing out. And taking another deep breath here. And just allow the thoughts of the day to be parked at the side of the room, focusing in on your breath. And take another 3 breaths here, and this time as you exhale, breathing out through the mouth. So taking an inhale as you breathe in through the nose, belly balloons, and just sighing out, and feel how that just allows the body to release a little more. Take another 2 breaths in this way. Finding expansion through the inhale and exhaling, just a release and softening. And taking one more breath here. And then just allow the breath to return to its normal rhythm, and inhale and exhale through the nose now. And we're just going to connect in with our pelvic floor before we begin in our class. So as you take an inhale, start to focus in on the muscle that controls your peeing. So as you inhale, take a breath at the top and then squeezing the muscles as if you're trying to hold your wee. Take another exhale. And then just one more breath in and out, holding that muscle. And then on the next exhale, releasing that muscle. I'm going to do the same with the walls of the vagina now. So as you inhale, squeezing the muscles of the vagina. Exhaling, holding that muscle. Taking another breath while you continue to hold this. There's not much to see here, and it's a really good one to continue to practice all through your pregnancy. Releasing that muscle with the next exhale. And then squeezing now the muscles of the back passage as if you're trying to stop yourself from passing wind. So inhaling, squeezing. And then exhaling, holding. Inhaling. And exhaling, releasing. Now squeezing all three muscles. So on the next inhale, squeezing up the whole of the pelvic floor and holding here. And taking an exhale as you continue to hold. Taking 2 more full deep breaths here. And it's been shown if you continue to activate and practice pelvic floor exercises in pregnancy, it's really going to help you in the postnatal period with urinary incontinence. It can really improve any symptoms. Just releasing now as you exhale. And then from here we're going to take our block or our cushion, and you want it on its second widest setting, so not the narrow one, just taking it on this wide setting here, and we're going to push it between our legs, so your feet should now be hip width, and then you can place your palms face down on the floor on the side of the body, and then you're just going to draw the knees up towards the chest. And so they're up again about a 90-degree angle to the hips, and then allow the arms to rest out to the side, and we're going to take some tilts to the side, so squeezing the block together, activating through the pelvic floor, and then rocking to the right as you exhale. Inhaling, coming back to center. Now you're not going all the way, we're really just doing minimal movements here, so just rocking over to the side and then coming back, flexing through the heels here so the feet are active, and squeezing the whole time so that you're really engaging through the pelvic floor and rather than a passive rock from side to side. And trying to see if you can move with the breath, so as you inhale back to center, exhale to the other side. And the last breath to be long and continuous here. Inhaling center, exhaling. We're just going to take one more of those on each side as we come back to center. And rocking one more time to the right, squeezing the block here, activating the pelvic floor. You should feel an activation through the thighs as you do that. Last one. Really nice. And then just gently placing the feet back on the floor. So you can bring the heels in a little closer to the bum now. And again, squeezing through the thighs with the block. Palms face down to the floor. And you're going to, as you squeeze, you're going to activate the bum and start to lift the hips off the floor, pushing up with your hips. Exhaling, rounding down. Inhaling, squeezing the block, and find your pelvic floor activation as you do so. Draw the front of the thighs towards the end of your mat, exhaling. And we're going to take 3 more in this way, so inhaling, lifting up. And see if you can find length through the front of the body as you do so. As you start to warm the spine up, taking 2 more, inhaling, and this one, see if you can puff your chest up and just allow the shoulders to draw back towards the mat, exhaling. Last one here, and we're going to hold at the top now, so squeezing that block, so don't forget to activate the inner thighs, and see if you can allow the shoulders to just really relax back into the mat, so you're almost like collapsing back into the upper back and shoulders here, and then continue to activate through the front of the thighs into the buttocks, squeeze the block, take 1 more deep breath here, and exhaling, rounding all the way down towards the floor. Really nice. Bringing the block to the side again. From here we're going to take thread the needle pose, so you're going to just draw your ankle over your left thigh and just pause here for a moment, and I want you to place your hands on your upper thighs, so just start to push the heels of your hands into the upper thighs. See if you can stretch through the front of that muscle, so just almost like you're pulling your thigh away from your hips. And then releasing that stretch. Bring the left knee into the chest and then holding round the back of the thigh here. Now you may find that you need a little bit of help here, a little support to hold round the thigh, and so by all means have a strap like a belt or a tea towel here. And then you're going to flex through both heels. Start to draw that left leg towards the sky. So kick the heel towards the ceiling as you inhale. Exhale, draw the heel back towards the bum. So you're just bending and straightening that leg. Inhale, extending up, flexing through the heel, really activate through that foot. Exhale, draw down. Taking 3 more here. Inhaling, kicking up. Exhaling, heel towards your bum. Inhaling, kicking up. And exhaling, drawing down. Now from here we're going to place the left foot back on the floor, and you're going to cross your right leg over the left, so as if you are squeezing the calves together, squeezing the thighs together. And then from here we're going to take the right arm underneath the left, so cross the right arm under the left, and then bring the hands together. So you're going to bring the palms of the hands together, or perhaps the backs of the hands together. Now if this is completely unreachable for you, then just hold on to opposite shoulders. So however you have the hands, you're just going to keep the feet placed on the floor, and you're going to then start to draw the knees in towards the hands, releasing down. Exhaling, drawing knee towards elbows. Inhaling, releasing down. And squeeze the thighs together. As you exhale, draw the knees towards the arms. Inhaling, releasing down. Taking 2 more here. And pushing the hands together if you have the palms together. Squeezing the thighs together. Last one. Exhaling, drawing up. Inhaling, releasing down. From here, releasing the arms out to the side, and then just allowing the legs to fall over to the left side. So we're just coming into a really nice supine twist here. So palms can face up, bringing the arms out to the side. Maybe turn and look over towards that right hand. Find a nice twist here. And taking another 2 breaths. Really nice. And then with control, just supporting yourself, coming back to the center. And just releasing the leg, and we're going to do that on the other side now. So feet are hip width apart, toes point towards the front of the mat, and then crossing the left ankle over onto the right. And just pausing here for a moment, press the heels of your hands into your thighs and just find a little separation here, as if you're pulling your thighs away from your hips. Flex through that heel. And take another breath here. Exhale, allow the lower back to sink down towards the floor. And taking your grip, however you have that. So holding on around the back of the thigh if that's possible for you, and then flexing through the heel. And just take a pause here. Allow the left elbow to gently rest onto that left thigh. And then as you exhale, you're going to kick that right leg up towards the ceiling. Inhaling, releasing down. Exhaling, kicking up. Inhaling, releasing down. And taking 3 more here, just moving with your breath. And allow the lower back to really be settled onto the floor here. And see if you can avoid tension in the shoulders and the neck. And gazes towards the ceiling rather than behind you or down. So the neck is long. Last one here. And placing the foot onto the floor, and then crossing your legs so that you've got your calves pressing together and your thighs are squeezed tight. Taking your arms out to the side, and you're going to cross this time left arm under right, so elbows lock, and then just bringing the palms together. Again, using whichever alternative works for you, depending on how much space and room you have in your shoulders. And then you're just going to start to draw the knees in towards the chest, and then inhaling, releasing, tapping down. Squeeze the thighs together as you draw the knees towards the elbows. Inhaling, releasing down. And taking 2 more here. Exhaling, drawing up, squeezing thighs. Inhaling, releasing down. And last one here. Exhaling. And then inhaling, releasing down. Releasing that grip on the arm and bringing your hands to the side. Then we're just going to rock all the way over towards the right side. So palms facing towards the ceiling. Allow that stretch, that opening through the left side of your body, and breathing into the ribs. And taking 2 more breaths here. Allow that left shoulder to be soft. Releasing with breath into the twist a little more. And then pushing your way back up. And we're just going to come into a little side stretch here, just one more pose on our backs here. So extend the legs out in front of you, and then you're going to bring your arms up overhead. So you can clasp your hands together, so palms facing towards the ceiling, and just cross thumbs over each other. And then you're going to start to walk the legs to the left side. Allow the right hip to melt down onto the floor so you're not rocking up here. And then maybe start to bring the left upper body, so bringing the hands over to the left side. So you're creating this banana shape with your body. So really breathe and find a space and opening through the right ribs. Make sure that that right shoulder, that right arm are also in contact with the floor here. So if you find that you're losing that a little, then just maybe reduce that curve that you have going on. And taking 1 more breath. Walking the feet back towards your center, and then bringing the arms to the center again. And taking the opposite side, so just starting to walk the feet out towards the right side this time, and then arms come over as well, creating that curved C shape here. Again, allowing that left upper arm, left shoulder to melt down into the floor. Breathing into the left rib cage, finding space and opening here. Taking one more deep breath to see if you can find that opening. And coming back to center once again. Drawing the knees into the chest, bringing the knees nice and wide here. And then just take a little rock, allow the lower back to be massaged onto the floor, and then rolling over to the left side. Finding a pause here, and then pushing yourself up towards seated. From here, coming into your tabletop position, so your knees are hip width apart, your hands are directly under your shoulders, and your shoulders just give a little space between your neck and your ears. And find your neck nice and long so that you create a space between your ears and your shoulders, so the gaze is just towards the top end of the mat. And we're just going to come into some cat-cows, so as you inhale, allowing the belly to sink towards the mat. Exhaling, tailbone tucks under and rounding through the spine to drop your head. Inhaling, away from ears, opening and expanding through the upper body. Exhaling, tailbone rounds down towards the floor and head drops. And taking another 2 here, moving with that breath, so always finding that connection and fluidity in your movement with the breath. And last one here, as you inhale, shoulders draw away from the ears, opening through the chest. And exhaling, tailbone tucks under, rounding through the spine and dropping the head. Finding a neutrality in the spine, and start to walk the arms forward towards the front of the mat, coming into Anahatasana, so melting the body down here. So this may be your limit. Make sure that the hips remain over the knees, and then you may be starting to walk down a little bit more, so you melt your heart towards the floor. Maybe forehead is tucked towards the floor, maybe your chin glides forward and you extend that stretch through the chest, through the shoulders. Taking another 2 breaths here, and finding as you breathe into this pose a little bit more, you find an opening and a release. Really nice. Walking your way back up. And palms pressed down into the floor, spreading your fingertips wide here as you come into your preparation for downward facing dog. So you're going to tuck the toes and draw the bum back towards the heels. As you start to lift the hips up, keep a really strong bend in the knees, and maybe adjust your feet, maybe bring them slightly wider here to accommodate your hips, accommodate your baby. Imagine that there's a belt around your waist that's drawing you up towards the back corner of the room, and bend your knees a little bit more as you sit back. So you're almost dragging the mat back with your hands here. So rather than dumping forward into your wrists, you're pushing back towards your heels, and then start to straighten the knees. Allow the heels to sink down towards the floor. We're going to just take a couple of inhales and exhales here as we inhale, coming up onto the toes. Exhaling, heels draw down towards the mat, and take another one like that. Inhaling, lifting up onto the toes, engage the pelvic floor. Exhaling, last one. And as you inhale and engage your pelvic floor, find that lift in your hips a little bit. Exhaling. Now create a softening in the knees here, so as much as you need to bend the knees. So from here, we're just going to kick our right leg up, and I don't want you to bring it any higher than hip level here, so you're not going a big wide draw up, and then step that right foot forward, so help it to get there if you need. We're going to come into a box lunge, so drop that left knee down, so really quite close towards that front leg. So you're coming up here and you're making sure that your hip is over that back knee and that your knee is over your front ankle, so you're creating this box shape between your legs. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhaling, bringing the arms behind and interlacing the fingers here. Push into the front foot and draw the fist towards the floor. So you're puffing up, opening through the chest. Find a connection between the thighs here, so you're activating that pelvic floor. Open the chest a little bit more, creating space through the front of the body. Taking 2 more deep breaths here. Draw the shoulders back and down. Really nice, releasing the grip on the hands. Taking the right elbow towards the right thigh. And take a big inhale, sweeping that left arm over. So you're coming into a variation of a side angle pose here. Find a squeeze in the pelvic floor, lift up and try to avoid the urge to collapse onto that right thigh. Looking up towards the hand. And taking 2 more breaths. And breathing deeply here, find a rotation in the upper body. Pushing up off the thigh now and draw the left arm down towards the back leg, lifting up and find an expansion through the right side of the body. Look up towards the hand, coming into this reverse lunge. Taking 3 deep breaths here. One last deep breath. We're milling the hands down towards the floor to support yourself. From here, heel toe the foot to the left side of your mat and then bring the shin down towards the floor. Rest into that right leg, slide that left knee behind the right. So you're going to come into cow face pose here, Gomukhasana, and then start to sit back between the heels. Maybe heel toe the foot forward here. Sit up nice and tall. And support yourself to the side of your hips so you can lift up out of them. And then maybe start to tilt forward. So those of you who are a little bit more pregnant, there may not be the space available to do that. And if there's space and it feels comfortable, then just starting to tilt forward toward that front thigh. If not, then it's perfectly fine just to be here and find that opening through the chest. Taking one more big inhale. And exhaling, releasing out. Really nice. Walk the hands forward as you rock back over. And taking the left leg back, taking the right leg back, coming into your little vinyasa here, so spreading the fingers, coming into baby push-up. Walking the hands to the back of the mat. Fingertips point towards the toes. As you push into the hands, lift the hips up off the mat. Exhaling, bum towards your heels. Walking your hands back to the front of the mat. Pressing into the hands and tucking the toes as you draw your hips back and up towards your downward facing dog one more time. Kicking the left leg up, again no higher than the hips as you step the left foot forward to the front of the mat. Right knee sets down on the floor just under the hips as you push into the left foot to come up. So coming into your box lunge on the other side, remember heel is under knee, knee is under hip. Taking an inhale, sweep up arms, and exhale, draw the hands down towards the bum. Find the opposite interlace the way that feels odd, and then finding that openness, that puffing up of the chest. Push into the front foot and find an engagement between the thighs here as you draw the fist down towards the heel. Inhale, open your chest. Find a length through the front of the body. Exhaling, drawing the fist towards your heel. And taking 2 more deep breaths like this. And one last breath. And releasing the hands and placing the left elbow on the left thigh. Coming into a nice open side angle here as you bring the right arm over towards the ear. Draw the fingers long towards the front of the room. And see if you can rotate the upper body, creating a gentle twist and space through the right side of the ribs. Hug your baby into your spine as you take 2 more deep breaths here. Shoulder draws away from the ear and gazes up towards the palm. And windmill the arms as you bring the right hand down towards the thigh. Left arm reaches up into your reverse lunge. Taking 3 nice deep breaths here. Finding an opening now on the opposite side of the body through the left ribs. 1 more deep breath here. We're milling the arms down to support you, and then you're going to heel toe the left foot to the side of the mat. And place the shin down towards the floor so your knee is about the middle of your mat. And then you're just going to slide your left knee behind so it hooks in there. And then rock back towards your heel. So coming into Gomukhasana on the opposite side. Support yourself using that kickstand of your hands. And see if you can settle that left hip down towards the floor a little bit more. So your hips are nice and level here. And however far in your heels need to be to create an opening in the hips, that's fine. Maybe start to walk yourself forward here if you'd like to come into that forward fold, intensification of the stretch on the opposite side. And just being kind to yourself, knowing how much space you have here for your movement with your baby. And find length in the spine. Let that left cheekbone settle to the floor. And one more deep breath. Walking back up again, and then just rocking over here. And right knee back, left knee back. So finding whichever variation of push-up works for you, so either bum over the knees or shifting the weight forward as you come down towards your baby push-up. Walking the hands to the back of the mat, fingertips point towards toes as you push into the hands, doming and arching through the spine. Exhaling, bum to heels. And then bringing yourself forward, toes touch, knees nice and wide. And just settle into your child's pose. Again, you can use your cushion or your block here to support your head if you need it. And just allow your bum to come back to rest on your heels. Soften your forehead down to the floor. And just take 3 deep breaths here, breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. So taking 2 more deep breaths in your child's pose. And breathing deeply, inhaling and exhaling. And when you're ready to, either continuing with another one of the classes on this channel, or otherwise coming into your Shavasana and taking a good few minutes rest here to consolidate your practice. I hope you enjoyed this practice today and found it helpful, and if you did, then please go ahead and comment below. It's always really great to get some feedback, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more notifications on other videos available. Namaste.